Okay, guys, we're going to be talking about order of operations today. So you probably already know order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we're going to do a page in our journal, and then we are going to do a couple of practice problems together. So you are going to need to do these along with me in order to get your points for this activity. So you're going to be writing a page in your journal, and then you're going to have 3 practice problems that we're all going to do together. So in our journal, we're going to title it Order, and this is going to go on page 35, or it should be on page 35 anyway, Order of Operations. And there are some really important things that I want you guys to make sure that you remember for order of operations. So we're going to write down a little list. Important reminders. And you guys know the drill. If you need to pause so that you can write what I'm writing, then go ahead and do that. And then push play as soon as you're done with your little section that you have to finish up. So when we are doing order of operations, you guys know we do parentheses and then exponents, multiplication, division, and then addition, subtraction. So something I want you guys to remember is always multiply from, and divide actually, from left to right. This is something that I would mess up when I was your age and learning about order of operations. I would always go through and do all the multiplying and then go back through and do all the dividing. But multiplication and division are actually the same step. They're kind of like partners. Also, the same addition and subtraction. So we're going to do the same thing. Always add and subtract from left to right as well. So you actually really are only going through with 4 different operations. Something else I want you guys to write down. Whenever you have parentheses, sometimes you'll have parentheses inside parentheses inside parentheses. So you always want to do the innermost parentheses first. And sometimes you'll see normal parentheses. Sometimes you'll see brackets. Sometimes you'll see these little funky guys. A lot of times when there are multiple parentheses in a situation, they'll do parentheses for one level and then brackets for one level. And whenever you're looking at that, you always want to go to the very inside most parentheses first. You won't see many of those, if any, this year, but I just want you to have it in your notes because I know you're going to use these notes for the rest of your life. Okay, so then our next important reminder is inside parentheses, follow the order of operations. So you might have multiple steps inside of your parentheses and you won't know where to start first. You want to make sure that you use your order of operations. So now the next thing that we're going to write, this is going to be kind of a good way for you to remember which operations go together. So again, I always had the problem of I would do all the parentheses and then I would do all the exponents and then all the multiplying. This illustration is going to help you remember what goes together. So the first thing we have is P. And our P stands for parentheses. That's our first level. Then our next level is E, and that stands for exponents or roots. So if you have a square root or a cube root, that's in that same step. And we can actually draw these guys out to the side. And then maybe inside your exponents, do some of these. Okay, then our next step, our third step, this is where I would mess up every time, you guys, and I would get so frustrated. We've got multiplication and division, whichever one comes first. And then I want you guys to write this for me so that we remember that we go left to right. And then last, and this looks a little junky. Hopefully your writing is a little easier to read than mine. So we have addition and subtraction. And we're also going to do the left to right because that's really, really important. So multiplication and division go together, and addition and subtraction go together because they're kind of like partners. So you guys know that I like to break things down into steps. So when we do order of ops, I have 4 steps for you. Sometimes it's going to take you more than 4 steps, but if you follow these 4 steps over and over, it's going to get you through your problem. So your first step, you're going to look at it and you're going to underline the step that you should be doing at that time. So maybe your first thing that you're doing is the parentheses. You're going to underline the parentheses. Then you're going to simplify. Simplify means like solve that part of it. Then you're going to bring down. So I'll show you what that means, but it just involves you bringing down the rest of the problem because you're going to be rewriting it. And then the last step is repeat if necessary. So as you're solving your problems, you should get kind of this reverse pyramid effect. And then at the bottom, you'll circle your answer. So let's do an example together in our journal. And actually, guys, maybe we should just do our other examples on the back of this page so that we have them all in one place. So let's do that. We'll do example 1. So order of ops is going to take 2 pages. So example 1, we're starting with 17 minus 5 squared divided by the quantity 2 plus 3. So here's how our steps work. So first, I'm going to do parentheses. Do I have parentheses? Yep, I sure do. So I'm going to do my step 1. I'm going to underline. Then I'm going to simplify that. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And that takes away the parentheses because I've done everything inside of them. Now I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem. And then I'm going to repeat my steps because I still have other parts to it. So the next part, when I'm looking at this, my parentheses are done. So my next step is exponents or roots. Got them. So 5 to the second power, 25. So I simplified it. Now I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem. Now I'm looking at this and I did my parentheses, my exponents. Now multiplication or division. Oh, division. And I have 25 divided by 5. So I'm going to underline it and simplify it and then bring the rest down. So now this is my last step, addition and subtraction. 17 minus 5 gives me 12, and I'm going to circle my answer. So you can kind of see this little bit of a reverse pyramid here because what you're doing is you're making the problem more and more simple as you go. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So we're going to flip over to this side, and I'm actually going to pause this video to see how much time I have. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to stop this video here, and then you guys are going to have another video that's going to have the 3 examples on it.